What's up, all you Borderlands fans? This is Megan Sullivan from IGN, and with me is Anthony Burch. Say hello.
Hi. Hi, I'm Anthony Burch.
Okay, and Anthony, tell everyone what you do.
Oh, sorry. I'm a writer at Gearbox Software. I've never done an interview before, evidently.
And we're also with Jennifer Heinzer.
Hi.
And what do you do, Jen?
I'm just a PR person at 2K.
Oh, she
so
says,
I
I'm
won't be
just a
talking
PR
much.
person. Oh, please. Okay, so we're here talking about the new DLC pack for Borderlands, the pre-sequel. This is the third one. And Anthony, what's the title?
This is I believe it is the Lady Hammerlock pack. What is it, Jenny? What's the official title of it?
Yes, it's the Lady Hammerlock pack.
And is this the lovely Lady Hammerlock?
This is Lady Aurelia Hammerlock. She's the heir to the Hammerlock family fortune. She is a quadrillionaire. She owns the planet. It's not really a big deal. She is an awful person, but hopefully in a way that is likable and fun, like with a lot of Borderlands characters, including the one you're playing as, Nisha.
Yes.
So the basic gist of it is that she is super crazy rich, and most people that come out to Pandora or Elpis, their backstory is like, oh, I was being like chased by some dudes, or like this was my last chance, and like I had to go here to survive. And hers is like, I was bored one day. I was in an enormous turbo mansion, and I didn't really have anything to do, so I thought it'd be funny to like go to the moon and kill a ton of things just for whatever reason. And so she just did that. And she is also, her last name's Hammerlock. She is the brother of Sir Hammerlock from,
She's the brother?
From Borderlands 2. Yes, Sir Hammerlock. The dude from Borderlands 2.
But
and the
she's the brother, is what I'm saying. She's a brother or she's a sister?
She is a sister of a brother whose name is, well, I guess you find out his name if you buy the DLC. You'll get to learn Sir Hammerlock's first name if that's an appealing
Okay, so
thing for you.
this is his sister.
Yes.
And
okay. She's his older sister, and she was really mean to him as a kid, and that's why she wasn't around in Borderlands 2, because he really, really, really doesn't like her. And not with undue reason, because she is kind of just mean and shallow. She's a little bit Cruella de Vil, but hopefully, again, in a kind of a fun way. She doesn't really care for people that aren't in her tax bracket, which is 99% of the universe.
Yeah.
And everything's just quaint to her on Pandora. It's just all kind of cute and quaint. And, oh, you guys kill each other out here. That's adorable.
So she's like Nisha's soul sister, because she's kind of a badass as well.
A little bit, yeah. I think Nisha would find her probably condescending, but they certainly have their morality in common. Although I don't think Lady Hammerlock enjoys like strangling puppies as much. She's just more of a, she's like, oh, that's a thing. That's interesting. That's fun, I guess. Whereas
she doesn't
Nisha's
necessarily
super into
object
that
to
stuff.
it, but
yeah,
really
exactly. She's not going at it on Saturday nights because that's her jam necessarily.
Okay, so let's go ahead and jump into the game, because I want to see what Lady Hammerlock here can do. She's got got a big old gun.
Yes, this is her sniper rifle. She is a character who can be spec'd if you so wish into a sniper. We realized that we didn't have a proper sniper in pre-sequels character classes because of the moon jumping around, and the fans really wanted a sniper class, so we gave it to her. So her leftmost skill tree is called the Huntress, and it's all about making her super, super good at sniping. It allows you to, like, every time you miss, your next shot that does hit is going to do a ton more damage. If you ever hit with a critical, then you get a bullet added back into your magazine. So if you just keep getting headshots as a sniper, you'll never, ever, ever have to reload. There's a skill called Long Range Killer that allows your shots to deal bonus damage based on distance, so you can just get to the other side of the map and do a crazy amount of damage to somebody and stuff like that. So what I'm going to show you right now, though, is she has a rightmost skill tree called what is it called? Contractual Aristocracy, which allows me to basically offer a contract, and if you come up to me and melee me,
okay,
you've now signed the contract. So I am your boss, and you are my indentured servant. So what's going to happen now is that we're all going to get a lot of you and I are going to get a lot of bonuses for that. So I'm going to get a lot more health and a lot more shields, and you are as well. If I kill an enemy, it's going to restore half of your shields. If you damage an enemy, they're going to get set up, and if I shoot them, then they're going to have a lot of cryo damage dealt to them. The more critical hits and stuff. We're basically just going to help each other out by being master and servant. But I can also melee you like this, and that actually gives you, because I want you to work harder, and that actually gives you bonuses to speed, movement speed, and reload speed. While after I've thwacked you one. So yeah, Jen, if you want to send us to the area, we can start messing stuff up. Yeah, she's fun. She also has I guess we'll see it soon, but her action skill is called Cold as Ice. She has a cryo shard that she bought. Basically, she had it designed and then paid some people to build it, and it's super, super expensive. and she's a really cool character because she's all about money. Like, she's the only character in the game who we start off with like a purple gun. Like, at level 1, you will have a very rare gun just because she bought it before the game started, presumably, and she has a skill that like allows her to do a lot more damage and have a lot more fun if she's holding a really rare, expensive gun, and she does a lot worse if she has a poorer gun for like middle class people. So there we go. That's her cold as ice. It hits somebody, does continuous cryo damage to him.
Nice.
And then moves on to the next dude, does continuous cryo damage to them, and so on and so forth.
Okay. There you are. You're over there.
And her middle skill tree is actually all about cryo damage, to the point where the top tier skill allows all of your guns, even if they're not elemental, even if they're not cryo, to do cryo damage in addition to the regular damage type. So you can be setting people on fire while you cryo freeze them, or you can just make all of your cryo guns like a bazillion times, and by a bazillion times I mean 25% more damaging and effective.
A bazillion times.
Yeah, roughly, scientifically.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Turn on my audio so I can hear you if you say it.
Okay. Yeah, and I'm wearing 2 microphones right now, so we can all hear each other. So if I go in and out, that is entirely my fault.
Okay.
All right. Cool. Get anything for that? Picking that up. All right.
So, like, I don't know if we'll hear it here because we're in a co-op game and there's some luck of the draw there, but like all the other pre-sequel characters, she gets custom dialogue for plot moments. Characters have custom dialogue just for her.
Sweet.
And yeah, she is a fun, horrible person.
The best kind of horrible person is a fun,
Yeah.
horrible person.
I figure if you're going to
Sort
be
of like
awful,
Handsome
you might
Jack.
as well be enjoyable to be around. Yeah, exactly. That's sort of the theme, I guess. Is
Sort of a handsome Jack fanatic, so.
if you got to be the worst, you might as well be entertainingly the worst.
Yep, pretty much. So basically, her backstory is she's rich and she can do whatever she wants. She's got an expensive gun. And so does she... tell me a little bit more about her background. Is there anything
Sure.
else?
So her parents basically made quadrillions of dollars mining other planets and stuff, and eventually they got sick of it, so they just entrusted the entire company to her. But she doesn't actually like just running a company that's like dull. She just sits around and collects money, and it's just sort of enjoyable. But she just very slowly got to be sort of the the wealthy heiress who has nothing to do with her time. And she was really, really mean to her brother back when they were kids. So even though she actually finds him a little bit interesting, he can't get over the fact that she bullied him so hard. So he doesn't want anything to do with her. But she thought, hey, why not? I'll come out to Elpis and maybe go say hi to my brother while I'm here and hassle him and shoot things for fun, because that's what I like to do.
Sure. So tell me about any other new weapons. Are there any new weapons besides her sort of super cool rare one that you get at the start?
That's just a random purple weapon that you get at the beginning. Her weaponry is she doesn't come with any new weaponry or anything, but she has a lot of skills that change the way her weaponry works. So her leftmost skill tree, the top tier on that, actually puts a slot machine into your sniper rifle, where when you're aiming, a slot machine of all the different elements will come up, and depending on when you fire, it'll select that element and put that damage onto your next bullet. And if you hit a critical with that next bullet, then it also makes an explosion, a nova explosion, happen around the dude that you shot. So basically every sniper rifle now has this interesting little mini game plugged into it of timing, and if you combine that with our other skills, like you want to be really far away and you want to time it properly and you want to wait a little while so you can get the wait for it bonuses, you might want to miss a couple times before you fire. So her guns act very differently. And again, that cryo thing I was talking about earlier, where you can make a fire weapon do cryo damage or a laser weapon do cryo damage, which is really fun and new. And you can see there, you damaged somebody, and
right.
Because I then damaged them after they got the little crossover of their head, there was a little cryo damage thing that came out of it, which is really, really useful for bosses because we just end up basically attacking the same dude and doing a ton of stack damage to him.
Right. Very cool.
To disable it, you'll need to damage the blue coolant, not the red thermal charges.
So how big would you say this DLC pack is?
Oh, it's the best thing that's ever happened in the modern world, easily. I feel like it goes Invention of Penicillin, the Fifth Element, and then this DLC. I feel like that's the order.
All right. Fair enough. Seems pretty cool so far. Come on,
Yeah, I mean, it's a different kind of thing. Like a lot of DLC is campaign based, but
Right.
the Borderlands always has the advantage of sort of saying like every character you play Borderlands with is a completely different game. If you play as, Athena, you're playing as a tank, you're playing defensively. If you're playing as Nisha, you're playing as this amazing glass cannon, and it's really drastically different. So the way we always sort of look at it is like when you buy a DLC pack or whatever, you may be getting 5-10 hours of content. When you buy a character, you're basically getting another 50 hours of content, because all the stuff that you've already done is now drastically different.
Right. Because now you're talking about different dialogue options and different ways to fight the bad guys.
Exactly.
Okay.
I'm really interested to see, because a lot of people seem to, or a lot of the Borderlands superfans seem to really enjoy our doppelganger character because of his personality, because he was really kind of nice and sort of was in over his head and felt
Yeah.
bad about what he was doing. And I'm interested to see how they feel about somebody who's the exact polar opposite
Opposite.
and is just like, oh, this is quaint.
Yeah. And I kind of like that. You get to play Jack, but you're also kind of like this nice dude who got caught up in this. And then with this new character, it sounds like she's like, I do not care at all. Like, I'm
Yeah,
just
she
bored.
volunteered to get caught up in this.
So she's not interested in vault hunting.
Not really. I mean, she thinks it's like academically kind of neat. Like, oh, there's a big thing that opens up and a lot of really valuable, expensive things come out of it, and I'll get to kill a big thing. That's kind of neat, I suppose. That's a way to spend your afternoon.
How does
it's
she
like,
feel about
fox
Handsome
hunting with
Jack?
her.
Or is that
it
one of those things you have
changes
to find
as the
out?
game goes on.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's sort of her character arc as she comes up and goes, oh, this guy's, he's a little bit, he's dirty, he smells a little bit funny, but I guess he's got something interesting about him. But as the things in the story happen and Handsome Jack starts acting more and more like a megalomaniac, she sort of changes her opinion, and I'll leave it to you to find out if that's for good or for ill.
Ooh, I'm in suspense here. Get out of our way. Yeah, bring in the law. I'm getting paid for
Oh dear.
it. Uh-oh, where are you?
It's fine.
Okay.
Probably
I was
kill
gonna say, I
this
have to go
guy.
rescue. Oh, get out of our faces. So when is
Oh yeah,
this,
I think I just actually got out of. Oh yeah, that's an awesome thing. Is you killed a guy.
Yeah.
While I was in Fight for Your Life, and because you worked for me, that means that I got to get up on my own 2 feet again.
Oh, that's how that happened. I was just about to rescue you, and then you got up on your own. I was like, how'd that happen?
I think I've got that right. Check the skill tree again.
All right.
Make sure. Maybe that's it. Maybe it's not. I'll check.
All right. So who are we fighting right now?
Right now, we are trying to. This is the main game of pre-sequel. We are trying to lower all the defenses to a big, important laser that is going to destroy the entire world, so we can go kill Colonel Zarpedon and save the moon.
Yep.
Just your average.
Just your average
day
kind of
out, I
mission.
guess.
Yep.
Yeah.
Put. There we go. All right, and when does this DLC come out?
Jenny, when does this DLC come out?
On the 27th of January.
So,
in
super soon.
Less than a week. Yep, super soon.
Super soon. Okay, how much does it cost?
It will be $9.99 and then part of the season pass, or part of the season pass.
Oh, okay, very cool.
Yeah.
And is this the last one, or is there more? No, don't.
Nope, this is the third one, so there'll be one more coming after this.
All
Oh,
right.
no, I guess I was wrong. Yeah, I don't think you actually do revive dudes for
Okay.
me. Actually,
Dun, 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 dun. You're back.
thank you.
You're back, bitches. Alright, yes, do something. Where'd you guys go? There you are. Move it, Jack. So who was the voice actress for this particular character?
Kanisha Thompson, who also plays a character in Battleboard named Reyna, who's really awesome, and she's a fantastic actress.
Yeah, what was it like working with her?
It was a lot of fun because she's an American, she's not British, and a British guy, Marie Suckling, who wrote much of the pre-sequel, helped out on her lines and stuff like that, and it was like sort of helping her with her accent and stuff, and she was freaking out. She's like, oh, it's weird having a real British person here telling me what I'm doing. But she's great. Her improv's really good. She has a really good instinct for jokes. Like it's a weird thing, but it's not something you expect when you're sort of looking through potential voice actors. A lot of people will assume everything is straight-faced, and they won't realize when something is a joke or how to sell that joke, and Kanisha has a really good instinct for that just inherently.
Yeah. How much improving do you allow the voice actors to do? Because if you're writing the game, it must drive you sometimes crazy when it's, like you write something and they do something totally different.
I generally try to allow as much as they want, because often I would say about 15-20% of Handsome Jack's dialogue is improvised, and it just makes it feel more real and more in the moment, and oftentimes a lot funnier. So we always allow as much as we can. Obviously, you want to pull people back if they improv in a weird direction that doesn't quite convey what you want to, but I prefer to give them too much freedom and then sort of pull back from there if we need to, rather than just going, no, you must stay, loyal to this script I wrote when I was really tired one day 5 weeks ago. It just seems kind of pointless.
Right. And what inspired this particular character? What made you think, we need a super rich snob?
It was basically thematically looking what pre-sequel is. It's bad people doing... I guess there's two ways to look at it. It's either good people doing bad things or bad people doing good things.
Right.
And every character we have is either somebody that is, except for Claptrap because he's just like a child basically. It's a boss in Borderlands 2, or basically somebody that is clearly working for the bad guy and has problems. And so we thought, okay, well, what's somebody that would fit within that tableau? What's somebody that's morally ambiguous, but also has some connection to, somebody we already know, somebody we care about, somebody we like. And so making her Sir Hammerlock's sister kind of puts her in an interesting space where it's like, well, Hammerlock's like a decent guy. So, is she maybe a little bit decent because she's from his family? How do they get along? How do they not? And yeah, it was also a thing where we want one-to-one gender parity in our playable characters, and we had the doppelganger. We had two males, two females in the base game, and then we had the doppelganger, so it was time for a girl.
All right. So you were like, it needs to be balanced. And what sort of, does the character inspire the weaponry and skill tree they come with? Or is it kind of like, we really want to do a really cool skill tree that does this, this, and this? And what kind of character would, oh man.
It actually goes back and forth. It's both is the answer. So we'll start with an idea that sounds like a fun sort of promise from a character point of view, like what kind of person would just be fun to hang out with or fun to play as. And then from there, it undergoes okay, cool, what skills can we affix to this person that would make sense? And if the skills don't come naturally from the idea of the character, then we go back and pick another promise, just narrative idea for the character. And then once we've got that, and once we have a basic idea of okay, it could be Hammerlock and she could be a sniper, then her personality starts affecting her skills. Once we figured out that she was Cruella de Vil, essentially, then we came up with okay, what if she can just own you as a person, essentially, have a contract out on your soul and get bonuses based on that? What if she's, a person who's so rich she doesn't like to get her hands dirty, so we give her a power that makes her more powerful as a sniper the farther away she is from her enemies because she hates being next to people. I mean, even her middle tree that's about getting in close and mixing it up has a bunch of if you slap somebody, you'll knock them back, or if they hit you, you'll do a cryo nova to them to teach them to not lay a finger on you because this jacket is really expensive. So it's this really fun and interesting back and forth kind of experience where one informs the other, and there's nothing that can say this is a definitively X decision or Y decision because of narrative or gameplay. They always intertwine.
All right, down you go. So what inspired you to do a game on the moon? Did you have a weird dream where you're like, I would love to have a game with lasers and zero-G? Or was it sort of like a groupthink process? It's like, where can we take this awesome series, going forward?
Well, it was knowing basically that we wanted to make, another Borderlands game, but it wasn't going to be a next-gen thing. It wasn't going to be, this enormous revolution in what Borderlands was. It was just going to be hey, you like Borderlands? Here's some more Borderlands. Cool. And knowing that, we sort of had a smaller palette of stuff to work with, so we wanted to work within things that fans had told us they wanted. And from the very first time we ever announced Borderlands 2, I think at Gamescom, we had a Gamescom demo where you saw this big moon base in the sky, and it would shoot down robots at you. And every single person who saw that, their assumption was, oh, so I get to go there at the end of the game, right? And we were like, no, you don't. Sorry. It's weird that you see that, but you don't. So the very first thing we wanted to do was like, okay, at some point we got to let people go to that moon base because they've been asking for it for, actual years. So it seemed like a really clear idea. And then once we decided that, it was like, okay, well, what story can you tell up there? And we realized, oh, you could tell the story of Handsome Jack before he became, I guess, a bigger asshole. And everything
you
sort
didn't
of
think
followed
it was
from there.
possible, but...
Yeah, exactly.
All right. Where the heck is everyone? Oh, there we go.
Sorry if I just made a cute noise. My bird just landed on my knee.
You have a bird?
I do.
Let's get going.
All right, lead the way.
Yeah, we're gonna have to go through here.
You gotta be joking.
It's an electrical convergence, doesn't matter. Just wait for the laser to fire before you run through. It'll momentarily drain the power and stop all the electricity. Wait for it.
Oh God, I remember this.
Now, go!
Run!
Jenny's messaging me saying we should probably wrap it up because she has not that much time, and the very next thing we're going to do is an enormous boss fight, so we can
All right.
either
We
call
can-
it here before the boss fight or after. It's up to you.
Well, why don't we actually leave people in suspense, because if they haven't played Borderlands, the pre-sequel, hopefully this got them interested. And also, there is a Borderlands Handsome collection, I believe, that is coming out soon as well.
Uh-huh.
And so that is, I believe, in March. Is that right, Jen?
We're gonna have to take the long way around. Let's hit the elevator and go
Hello.
topside.
Hello, Jen.
Hello. Fine. Just you and me, bro. I see her.
Let me
I see
let me
two
Google
Jacks. Okay, well, there is a Handsome Jack collection that is for Xbox One and PlayStation 4.
Yeah, it's in March. It's
and
definitely
that's Borderlands 2 and Borderlands pre-sequel, right?
And all the DLC for both, yeah.
And all the DLC for both. So will that include this DLC?
I believe so. I'm not sure. I believe so, though.
Okay, cool. And there is another DLC that you can't talk about quite yet, but it's public knowledge. There is another sort of bigger campaign coming our way, right?
I have no idea.
You're like, maybe, could be, possibly. All right.
Who knows?
All right, so I guess what we'll do is we'll go ahead and wrap things up here. So again, this new DLC, it's the third one. It's called Lady Hammerlock Pack. It stars what's her name? Aurelia? Am I pronouncing that right?
Yeah. Lady Aurelia Hammerlock.
Yes, and she's a quadrillionaire who starts off with a rare gun, doesn't like to get her hands dirty, can do all sorts of stuff like make a contract with another player, and that will benefit you both. And anything else?
I couldn't have said it better myself.
All right, excellent. Well, thank you so much for tuning in, everyone, and for all your Borderlands pre-sequel needs, keep it locked here on IGN.